All right, everybody, welcome to Alchemical Computing. Hopefully, this is video one. Maybe not. I don't know yet. Anyways, this whole tutorial series is going to be about CODESYS and PLC programming and basically the dredges of the computer science world, stuff nobody really cares about unless you're actually working the job. Who has two fingers in doing that? This guy right here. So let's take a look and let's learn some crap about structured text. Now, structured text, before we get started, is a PLC programming language, and I use the term language loosely. I prefer the term PLC programming interface. Basically, what that means is it's a programming interface that allows you to write code of some type that a PLC can understand. More than likely than not, if you're looking at this channel, you've probably looked at ladder logic in the past, which is basically those just random instructions. I don't want to say random, but instructions that look like little blocks and stuff. That's like 90% of people program PLCs. However, those days of just being able to do that are dying and dying quick, especially if you're in Europe or Japan, where systems like Beckhoff are and CODESYS and stuff are more prevalent than things like Allen Bradley. Got to give to the Europeans. They are always ahead of us and beating us every which way it's Sunday when it comes to technology. Anywho, structured text is the future of PLC programming. There's no two ways about it. With the integration of things like artificial intelligence, the cloud, IoT, and all that stuff, programming and ladder logic is just more of a pain in the butt than what it's worth. In the next 10 years, I would say more than likely, ladder logic is going to be gone. So, with that, we need to start learning about structured text. And luckily for us, there's a convenient free way to do that called CODESYS, which is an awesome programming platform, and it also supports a wide variety of PLCs. So if you don't have that installed, follow on this tutorial series, you're going to need that. You download it for free. There'll be a link in the description below on how to download and install it. It's actually a pretty cool system, and the new version of it, this release, only supports structured text by default. So this is definitely something you're going to want to learn here in the near future. Anywho, we're not going to go through creating new projects and all that stuff right now because that should be pretty self-explanatory, but go ahead and create a new project. And for this video tutorial, we're going to look at basic mathematics in CODESYS. So when you open up and create a new file, you're going to have two sections. You're going to have this programming, PLG, whatever part up here, and this down here. File is basically split into two screens. The little top screen up here is basically where you declare your variables. And down here is where you declare your core logic, what I like to call core logic. Basically, the logic that of your program, the guts of your program. So the first thing you're going to want to do for this exercise is to declare a variable. We're going to call this x, and we're going to make this a data type int, and y, and create that data type int as well, and then create a sum variable of type int. Now, if you're a PLC programmer, chances are you're not an actual programmer. You're probably an electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, or something like that. Nothing wrong with that, except you guys just don't know how to program. A little bit of bad humor on my part, but it's true. A lot of you guys really never really paid attention to things like data typing and all that kind of good stuff. So before we get started, we're going to look at what these little variables, what these little keywords after the variables are. Essentially, these are called data types. And if you think of memory as, open up my handy paint pad real quick. If you think of memory as this block, as a bunch of blocks, let me get my squares out. If you think of memory, computer memory as adjacent blocks, kind of like this. You can actually kind of conceptually think of these guys as, as like little apartments. So essentially what happens is when you declare a variable, you're telling the PLC, hey, go grab one of these empty apartments and assign the type, assign the variable x to it, and it's going to be a type int or an integer. So essentially what you're doing is you're creating a human readable alias with the variable name. This x is a human readable alias. In real life, this would be something like sum or add or whatever. Dog age 1, dog age 2, whatever you want to name it. And this down here, this data type is basically tells PLC what type of data can live in it. Now, for this tutorial, we're only going to really worry about integers, which are whole numbers. However, you can have Real, there's a bunch of data types. You can have a real, an int, which is a whole number. A real is a floating point, aka a decimal value, a bool, and blah, blah, blah. For this tutorial, all I really want you guys worried about is integers. Again, which are whole numbers. Now, once you get that kind of squared away, when you get that set up, and again, all you need is this stuff, you don't need these comments down here. You're going to go into the second part of your file and go into the core logic. And we're going to start implementing the core logic of this program, which is going to be a simple addition program. So what we're going to do is first we're going to have to assign a value to x and y, and you can do that up here, but for right now, we're going to do it in the core logic section of the program. So we're just going to say x equals 2 and y equals 3. Now, in CODESYS and pretty much every other PLC programming language, the way you assign a value is with a colon equal sign. That's basically, if you think about this apartment complex, this is actually taking that X value and shoving a resident into it. So we know this is apartment X and they can hold a type int. So we're going to take the number 3 and shove it in this apartment right here. And the same goes for Y. So up here, we're declaring the apartments. Over here, we're assigning residents to the apartments. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take this last variable sum and say sum colon equals. We're going to assign that to the sum of x plus y. And we're going to end that statement with the semicolon. And notice we do that on all these lines. Every line in CODESYS, unless it's a body, which is kind of like something between like this var keyword or an if statement or something, ends with the semicolon. The semicolon's all like a period. It denotes a complete thought. So luckily, to run this program, we don't need any hardware. All we have to do is go to online, go to simulation, wait about half an hour, and then click login, hit yes, blah, 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 la, 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 wait and wait a little bit longer. And then we're going to press the play button once everything boots up. And as you can see right here, we have sum equals 5, aka x plus y, 2 plus 3 equals 5. And that, my friends, is the basics of addition and variable assignment in IEC 61131. IEC 61131-3. That is a tongue twister, and I've been programming this for years, and I still get that wrong all the time. So this is, again, this is just an entry tutorial, the first tutorial in how to program in CODESYS / the IEC 611.313 programming standard. If you liked it, give this channel a like, give the video a like, and hopefully leave a comment. That'd be really nice. This is a very small channel that I'm trying to build. And also check out my book, Mastering PLC Programming, a Software Engineering Survival Guide to Automation Engineering. If you could give that, the link is in the description below. If you could give this video a like and maybe buy my book, that'd be great. I'm the alchemical computing expert, and I'm signing off. Catch you guys later.